So one qualifier hit complete with what is arguably our biggest class on the property this weekend. And how about we kick it off with a pair of dragsters. Tammy Peugeot bringing up the Rator Systems dragster. To race Rashid Al-Balushi in the JBS Equipment dragster. That dragster usually driven by Justin Bond in Super Comp competition or Super Pro. He makes the run up here, but handed the reins to Rashid for the weekend as he runs himself in the Bahrain 1 Racing Pro Mod Camaro. Both dragsters away to the top end. 7:02 the 3 for Rashid Al-Balushi at 186 miles an hour. Tammy Peugeot gonna go at a 7:72 with a 9 at 171. We bring up Ted Buss of the Shawnigan Trucking Straight Line Race Car Collision Ford Roadster to race Martin Rochelle in a Super Street Malibu. It's a bit of a coin toss as to whether Rochelle's going to look to run that car out or use the Super Street throttle stop. He's going to look to run that one out the back door. When it's less restricted, that car can run the low 10-second bracket instead of the 10.9 Super Street Index. Frequently runs closer to the 10 range. This time it'll be a 10.28 at 122 miles an hour for Rochelle. Ted Buss goes a 9.08 at 143. We bring up Kim Jongkind for Reckless Restoration, as seen on TV. Bush Wreck Rescue on the Discovery Channel, as well as Titanium Auto Group. Racing against Brady Lou for JBS Equipment. Another pair of dragsters. For Brady Lou as Jongkind trying to chase him down at the top end. Lou gets their first 7.85 with a 368 miles an hour. Jongkind goes 8.12 with a 3 at 165. Attention to pits, attention in the pits. We need junior classes to the lanes. Junior classes to the staging lanes. We're gonna get Thunder to 1, Lightning to 2, Street to 3 and 4. That is Junior Thunder to lane 1, Junior Lightning to lane 2, Junior Street to lanes 3 and 4. Devin McNichol and Wes Voth running down the racetrack now. Voth clocks in at 9:55 with a 6, 140 miles an hour. McNichol musters a 10:07 with a 3 at 133. Here's a sight we don't see too often. Al Oman brings up his motorbike. Typically runs in our motorcycle category, but with that not running this weekend, testing out a new delay box on his machine. He'll test it against Nick Angelucci in the Malibu. Runs through a 9.10 with a 2, 139 miles an hour. Nick Angelucci goes 10.70 with a 2 at 126. We bring up Aaron Phillips, the race Jan Christensen Christensen, of course, running the Nova in Canada West Door Slammers, where Christensen currently sits towards the lower end of the qualifying sheets on what is one of our biggest class of the weekend. Currently 41 cars qualify for Canada West Door Slammers. Christensen sits as number 36 among them. Christensen goes a 792 with a 168 miles an hour. Aaron Phillips goes 811 with an 8 at 158. In the next pairing down, it's a 966. Lord Coast side, 160 miles an hour. TCS side goes a 955 with a 5 at 138. Bring up another one of our regular Super Combo runners on that Super Street Index over here, TCS side. Racing George LeBlanc for the Kelowna Dental Clinic. Wild Wart Water Wall. Try saying that 5 times fast. And Java Group in the Chevelle over in the Lord Coe lane. .873 with the 7 for LeBlanc, 155 miles an hour. The Super Street Car goes 1087 with a 1 at 136. We bring back Dustin Brewington, the Camaro out of Kennewick, Washington, to race Cam Shantz in the Ford Roadster. Double red bulb, 18th out to a 4th out. Cam Shantz runs through an 880 with a 3, 146 miles an hour. Lord Coast side. TCS side, it goes 1024 with an O at 129 miles an hour. We bring up Anthony Katnick for TK Performance, racing Danny Hodder. And the Spitzer drags in Renton, Washington. Katnick goes 891 with 0, 152 miles an hour. The Dragster goes 769 at 170. We bring up Stefan Robert in the Evil Bucket Roadster against Sean Braining in the Performance Auto Camaro. And that's going to turn into a single pass now for John Braining on this one, as cleaning up some mess over in the TCS lane. John Braining will run down at 9:14 with a 7 at 149 miles an hour. So we continue to clean up something of some description down on the starting line here in the TCS lane. So we're going to be down for a minute here while we touch up the racetrack and make sure everything is in tip-top shape. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that would be Mike Stewart looking to run up against John Branding. Coming on up, sorry, not against John Branding, against Stephen Roberts coming into the water box here. And still with plenty of box cars left to run. Ken Specialty Auto, Buck has been the excavating, Stuart Bros Racing, Super Chiclet Chevy 2 over in the Lorco side against that Evil Bucket Roadster, TCS side. Carrying the front wheels of the Roadster. Goes 12th now, red on the tree, follows it up with an 8:52 with a 4, 153 miles an hour. Mike Stewart goes 10 seconds exactly at 132 miles an hour. Stephen Robert, of course, taking that red light, but red lights do not matter here in qualifying. They will on his third hit of the day when we get ready for eliminations. Dan Parsons brings up the Quality Racing Duster against Richard Love, the SS Motorsports S10. Dan Parsons, a frequent runner in Super Combo as well as Super Street in the Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series. Running the 1090 MDX. Love clocks in a 1054, 125 miles an hour. Dan Parsons a 1091 and 129. We bring up Emily Gerard in the Sheer Solution and Just Mechanical Dragster out of Chilliwack over in the Lorco lane. Nothing on file just yet for the dragster over here at TCS side. TCS side, it's a 760 with a 2, 169 miles an hour. Emily Gerard, 749 with a 3 at 179 miles an hour. Brings up Rick Modal in the Camaro. In fact, I believe a pair of Camaros. That's why I'm going to want to come on up over in the Lorco lane. Rick Modal having to swallow something of some sort in the start line with with a 1 second reaction time. As Boney goes 008 on the tree, follows up with a 799 with a 4. Lorco's side at 170 miles an hour. Rick Modal goes 849 at 155. Dustin Hunter makes another return at the race. You don't often see Dustin Hunter running in the electronics class. He's typically a runner in, at least for our for some of the T weekends in the Pro Bracket and Hot Rod categories, racing the Ford Falcon. Going up against Mike Robinson of JBS Equipment, JS Power Sports. Ford. Hunter goes a 9:07 with a 6, 147 miles an hour. Mike Robinson a 9:10 with a 2 at 142. John DeBack makes another return to the Rad Torque Systems S10. And I believe that will be it then for Rad Torque Systems Electronics. So we'll be running through this next round of qualifying with the electronic category, and then of course all of the Pete and Industry Junior Street guys before we run into our first round of eliminations on the day, which will feature no box, and then of course the junior classes. Then it'll be stock and super stock for their second qualifying hit after our first round of eliminations. We'll have ourselves a little stunt bike show, it looks like. I'm imagining that will be going down as track prep is underway. And then, of course, we'll have Door Slammer qualifying. Door Slammers and Pro Mods, of course, only qualifying throughout all of today. They will be eliminating tomorrow. Kim Jongkind comes up in the Reckless Restorations, as seen on TV, and the Bush Wreck Rescue on Discovery Channel. Protecting model group in the dragster to race Dustin Brewington and the Camaro to Kennewick, Washington. Two red lights. Doesn't matter though in qualifying. The dragster runs through 8:11 with a 5, 164 miles an hour. Dustin Brewington goes at 10:25 with a 0 at 129. We bring up Rashid Al-Balushi from Bahrain 1 Racing JVS Equipment, racing Justin Bond's dragster against Tammy Peugeot for Rad Torque Systems over in the Lorco lane. Joe doesn't leave from the tree until 1.3 seconds after the bulbs went down. Rashida Belushi, 7:034, 186 miles an hour. Peugeot goes a 7:73 and 168. Will bring us up for a single pass here, looks like, with Al Lamond over in that Lordco lane. As I understand, testing a new delay box on the Kawasaki for the 50s machine shop machine, and that turns into a double pass as Nick Angelucci will bring up the Malibu over in the TCS side. .919 with the 3, 140 miles an hour for Al Lamond. And Angelucci goes at 10:63 with the 1 at 126. Brady Lowe brings out the JBS Equipment Dragster to race Emily Gerard. And the Sheer Solutions and Just Mechanical Dragster. Attention in the pits, attention in the pits. Final call for Rad Torque Systems Electronics. Final call for Rad Torque Systems Electronic and your final qualifying hit of the afternoon. If you're running the box, you have not made a hit, you have to do so now, or you might find yourself not being eligible for eliminations later on today. Brady Lowe goes a 7:85 with a 469 miles an hour. Emily Gerard, 7:52 with a 5 at 179, which brings up Dan Parsons and his Quality Racing Super Street Duster to race Dustin Hunter in the Ford Falcon. Two red lights, a 009 to a 006. Dustin Hunter ran a 907 with a 3 at 147 miles an hour. Dan Parsons, a 1093 with a 9 at 128. Brings up the Kelowna Dental Center machine again over here, TCS side. To race Mike Robinson in the Roadster in the Lordco lane. Now, I will not deny, when I first saw that Roadster coming up here in 2023, it was, it threw me for a loop. I'm so used to that car being bright blue, but no, it is scarlet red this time around for Mike Robinson, who's completely redone the paintwork on his Roadster. Attention in the pits, attention in the pits. Junior dragsters, we need junior dragsters to the lanes. Thunder to 1, Lightning to 2. Thunder to lane 1, Lightning to lane 2. Richard Love brings up the Reflections Guesthouse SS Motorsports S10 to race Kevin McNichol, the 2014 Super Pro champion here at Mission Raceway Park. The 1967 Nova. Jan Christensen brings up the dragster to Langley to race Arid Phillips out of Chetwynd. 1998 dragster. See the stands slowly filling up on both sides of the racetrack. Awesome to see so many folks coming on out for Doorwarz 11 here on the titanium strip. This elimination's getting set to kick off here. I would estimate about the next 15 minutes-ish, 15 to 30 minutes-ish. Continuing to roll our way through Rat Torque Systems Electronics qualifying. Danny Hodder brings up the 2002 Spitzer dragster to race Jeremy Soares. The Soares Transport and Hot Shot Machine. That dragster running often in Top Dragster over in the NHRA and Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series. In fact, came on out for the divisional race just last year and ended up eliminating early. Decided to switch over to the Super Pro race for the ET Series, where he did make it good distance after being eliminated round one. Top Dragster. Both cars ripping up towards the top end. It'll be Soares getting there first. 7:59 with a 570 miles an hour. Danny Hodder goes 7:700 at 169. Only a handful of cars left now in Rad Torque Systems Electronics for second round of qualifying. Martin Rochelle and Rick Modal head down the racetrack. Modal will take the Camaro in first, 8:50 with a 9 at 161 miles an hour. Martin Rochelle goes 10:14 with a 7 at 126. That brings up John Braining and John Tabak. Vitor Minizato over here, the 1980 Camaro over on the TCS side. John Tabak brings up the Rad Torque Systems S10 over the Lordco side. And that will just leave, I believe, then Dave Jung, who will be our last electronics runner in the Lordco Auto Parts 1996 stock Eliminator Camaro. That car also running in the stock super stock combo class later on this afternoon. First hit though in electronics and rolls the beams with a big red light, so that will not be a run representative of what that car is capable of doing, as he'll shut it off early. And that will then wrap it up for Rad Torque Systems Electronics. We will move. Engines firing up behind the timing tower here. We should be getting back to racing action shortly. In fact, we will, as we bring one of the dragsters up into Lordco Lane. We'll be racing Mike Stewart in that Super Chiclet Chevy 2 over here, TCS side. Aaron Phillips will bring him up in the dragster over in the Lordco Lane, down in the 812 to Mike Stewart and the Ken Specialty Auto and Bucky Minis Excavating Stuart Bros Racing Chevy 2 at a 1002 over here at TCS side. Phillips having to be very patient. Oh boy, and not even close, as Aaron Phillips caught napping to a new level on the tree. 3 seconds on the reaction time. Mike Stewart going to be moving on over into the next round. We will bring up Mike Robinson and a car not on file over in the Lordco Lane. Sorry, it's George LeBlane over in the Lordco Lane. The Chevelle for Kelowna Dental Clinic. Wild Wart Water Wall Drilling. Got it that time on the first try. And Java Group down in A73. Two green lights. And not too far apart, 18,000 to a 002, but it's going to come down to a double breakout at the top end. Only 3,000 under for George LeBlane. He'll take it into round number 2 for Rad Torque Systems Electronics. Jan Christensen dialed at a 792 in the dragster over here. TCS side, Rashid Al-Balushi for JBS Equipment in Bahrain 1. Bringing up Justin Bond's Super Comp dragster over Lordco's side. Having to clean something up sharpish over in the TCS lane here, right on the start line, as Jan Christensen waiting very, very patiently. Justin Bond, sorry, not Justin Bond, Rashid Al-Balushi. So he's saying it's JB in that drag. So Rashid Al-Balushi already in the pre-stage beams. There is time though. Balushi fully bumps in now. Now waiting on Jan Christensen. Two green lights. Balushi trying to chase after Christensen up to the quarter mile, and a double breakout. Rashid Al-Balushi knocked out in round one. Jan Christensen will move on to the next round. We'll bring up Dustin Brewington out of Kennewick, Washington in the 1999 Camaro, dialed at a 10:26 to race Emily Gerard in the Sheer Solutions and Just Mechanical dragster, dialed at a 7:55. Small touch-up being done again now. Lordco side behind Emily Gerard's car. Attention to the pits, attention to the pits. Pete Industries Junior Dragsters, we're calling you to the staging lanes. Junior Thunder coming up to lane 1, Junior Lightning to lane 2. Once again, Thunder to 1, Lightning to 2. Two green lights, Gerard hightailing it up after Dustin Brewington. And gets around him. Brewington getting there first by 9 thousandths of a second, but going under the dial in the process. Emily Gerard moves to round number 2. We bring up Tammy Peugeot in the Rad Torque Systems dragster to race Anthony Katnick in the TK Performance Mustang. Big tire shake for Anthony Katnick. I think that might be game over, and it will, as he's going to more or less coast that one through. Tammy Peugeot goes at 796, 145 miles an hour, as Katnick shook the tires something fierce out of the gate. We roll to Dustin Hunter in the Ford Falcon, dialed at a 907 against Martin Rochelle's Super Street Malibu, dialed at a 1015. Double breakout. Martin Rochelle takes the win by just 5/1000ths of a second. 019 under for Hunter, 014 under for Martin Rochelle. Dustin Hunter now eliminated round one in both electronics and non-electronics. So a really early day for the Falcon Fast Ford. We bring up Kim Jongkind, running the Reckless Restorations as seen on TV, and the Bushwreck Rescue on Discovery Channel. Titanium Auto Group dragster dialed at an 811 to race Jeff Bell in the Dodge, dialed at a 960. 455 Mopar engine underneath Bell's machine.
Nolan, I think I saw Glenn Braid from Bushwreck Rescue, the Discovery Channel show, down here hanging out in front of the tower.
Oh,
so
no
Glenn
kidding.
on the property today. Former pro street racer back in the day with that wicked street legal Acadian that he had in the battles against Don Murray's famed green Corvette, as we get ready for Kimberly Jongkind and Jeff Bell to head down as your next pair in electronics.
Oh boy. Well, I think this is a race decided on the tree, and it is. Kim Jongkind, 8/10 reaction time. Not exactly ideal. Jeff Bell will move to round number 2. So we'll move to West Voth and the Pontiac Firebird to race. He's another Camaro, or another Chevrolet, I should say, over. It is a Camaro. Rick Modal over in the Lord Joe lane. 954 to an 850. Acumen Machine Shop over here, represented by West Voth over in the TCS lane. Rick Modal puts down an 853 with a 3. Takes the win over West Voth by about 0.03 of a second. We move to John Braining and Dan Parsons. John Braining over here, TCS side in the Performance Auto Camaro, dialed at an 895 to race Dan Parsons in the Quality Racing Duster, dialed at a 1094. John Braining goes red on the tree. Dan Parsons moves into the next round. Now, Cole talked to me about this earlier, about how Al Oman over here in the Thrifty Machine Shop Kawasaki looking to be testing out a new delay box on that motorbike, and I'd say so far it's not doing terribly. Dialed in the 918 this time around, racing Cam Shantz. Alamon, the lone motorbike running here in your Rat Torque Systems Electronics category. We've also got another MRP regular this season, Tom Turan, running over in both Outlaw and Real Street later on this evening when the West Coast Outlaws make their return to the staging lanes for eliminations. For now, we'll see what the 16-time track champion will be able to do. Pair of green bulbs being lit, and it'll be Alamon by 2 1/1000ths of a second, moving into round number 2, knocking out Cam Shantz. Ted Buss brings up the Shawnigan Trucking straight line race car collisions Ford Roadster, dialed at a 911 to race. And it's Kevin McNichol, dialed at a 1009 over in the Lordco lane. McNichol will move into the next round as Ted Buss goes under the dial by 34 thousandths of a second. Nick Angelucci brings up the Malibu this time by to race Danny Hodder. And the 2002 Spitzer dragster, 1070 to a 770, 3 seconds exactly separated this period on the tree. Hodder gonna have to be patient. 32 plus cars qualified for Rat Torque Systems Electronics here on this Doorwarz 11 weekend. What has been one of very few weekends so far this season where we have not had to worry so much about the weather catching us off guard. And it is absolutely spectacular. I know last season we ran everything on the Saturdays. We were worried we might not have enough time on the Sunday. The rain, sure enough, the rain came in force last year on Sunday. Not looking to be the case this weekend as Danny Hodder hightails it down the racetrack after Nick Angelucci. And Angelucci gets there first by almost a full 1/10 of a second over Danny Hodder. We bring up the next pair, and it's another one of the super combo runners, Warren Jacobson, bringing up the Chevy 2, dialed at a 1089. Very specific. Usually that car runs a 1090. Guess I wanted to test out, see what the throttle stop was able to do on his machine. Racing Al Quigley in the Rad Torque Systems Ford Mustang, dialed at a 1082. Pair of throttle stops in play this time by, not like it matters much. Al Quigley goes red by 8 thou. Warren Jacobson moves to the next round. And that brings up Paul Soares in the Soares Hot Shot Pontiac Grand Prix to race John Tabac and the Rad Torque Systems S10, dialed at a 1052. Three thou red on the tree for John Tabac. Tough break for the Dawn Electronics #2 qualifier. He'll be knocking himself out of eliminations here early, as he'll go 003 red on the tree. Brings up Jeremy Soares and Richard Love. Soares Transport and Hot Shot Dragster, dialed at a 760 to race Love's Reflections Guest House SS Motorsports S10. on. Jeremy Soares goes red by 12 one-thousandths of a second on the tree. Richard Love will get that freebie into round number 2. Brings us up for what will be your bye run in round 1 of Rad Torque Systems Electronics here in Doorwarz 11.
So Brady Lowe heads down the TCS side of the racetrack, runs a 789 with a 0 on her 787 dial-in at 164 miles an hour for the racer out of Langley for JBS Equipment. Looks like that is going to wrap things up for Rad Torque Electronics in their first round of eliminations.
So we roll to Rad Torque Systems Electronics. Richard Love brings it up over here in the SS Motorsports S10 to race Martin Rochelle in his Super Street Malibu. Richard Love stays out in front of Martin Rochelle by 0.3 of a second at that. Love moves into round number 3, the quarterfinals. We bring up another one of the dragsters. As the starting line crew is going to go out and take a quick look at the racetrack as Rochelle slowing a bit dramatically up at the top end with a bit of smoke as well. So making a quick rundown, we'll make sure everything's in tip-top shape, and we'll be back underway hopefully shortly. Well, I don't think Martin Rochelle was going to be making a run of even if he won that one. Report busted drive shaft down there. They found a big chunk over on the racetrack. So you can see our red safety truck out there now. Going to evict that piece of unwelcome debris from the premises. And we'll be back underway, hopefully, with Rad Torque Systems Electronics before too long. So Alamon being moved into round number 3 of Rattorf Systems electronic eliminations after Brady Lowe goes under the dial by 0.06 of a second. Nick Angelucci brings up the Malibu to raise Warren Jacobson to the Chevy 2, a 1072 to a 1089. And it'll be Warren Jacobson moving to the next round first. Angelucci got there first, goes under the dial in doing so. Attention to the pits, attention in the pits. We need juniors to the lanes. Juniors to the lanes. Juniors, we need you to lanes 1 and 2. Once again, that is juniors lanes 1 and 2. Outlaw 275. This is your 30-minute standby call. Outlaw 275, 30-minute standby call. Kevin McNichol wins that one on a double breakout. Takes it by 14 thou under the dial. We'll bring up Paul Soares at the Soares Hot Shot Grand Prix to race George LeBlane. The Kelowna Dental Clinic, Wild Wart, Water Wall Drilling, and Java Group, Chevelle Dial in May 73. We bring up Tammy Peugeot for Rattorf Systems in the 2007 Dragster to race Emily Gerard in the Shear Solutions and Just Mechanical Dragster at a 756. Two drivers away on green lights. The pair of dragsters hightailed out towards the top end, and I think that one's gonna be one of the tree, and it is. Emily Gerard taking the win as Tammy Peugeot went under the dial, trying to catch her, still got there second. Once again, we have called junior dragsters back to the lanes. Junior dragsters, we've called you back to the lanes. We also have the winner, the first winner of 50-50 tickets here. And the current prize pool stands at $2,216. So get your tickets. We're going to read those numbers out in a couple seconds here. The number for 50-50 tickets to win $2,000, 6825 868. That is 6825 868. It is a blue ticket. Blue ticket 6825 868. If this is your 50/50 ticket, you've won yourself $2,216. You can collect your cash prize up here, second floor of the timing tower. You have exactly 13 minutes and 20 seconds to get here, 1 second per foot of the racetrack, before we give your ticket to someone else. Don't time out like some of our races on the tree have today. Get here and get your prize. The pits, attention in the pits. Stock and super stock on standby. Stock, super stock, you are on standby. And now I put the serious voice on. Attention, every single individual on the property. Attention, everyone on the property. We understand some of you like to smoke. Fair enough. Please be respectful of where you put your cigarettes out. We just had to put out a bushfire because somebody dropped a cigarette on the ground and it did light the grass on fire. Please, we are begging you here. Do not make us have to call the fire department down here. Watch where you put out your cigarettes. Remember, there is a fire ban in effect right now. It is for good reason. We don't want what's on the East Coast over on the West Coast. Thank you very much. Careful where you put out your cigarettes, please and thank you. We're also still waiting on 50/50 ticket winner, blue ticket 6825 868. 6825 868. We are still waiting on you to come get your 50/50 ticket, over $2,000. You got less than 10 minutes to get up here and claim your prize. As we're waiting for Pete Industries Junior Dragsters to come around the corner, I can't help but look around and notice how absolutely packed the Mission Raceway property is here in this one. This is an awesome sight to see. This is really our first year where we're being able to open ourselves up to all crowds once again, and it is just amazing to see everybody coming on out to join the sunny weather with us here on an absolutely beautiful Canada Day weekend here at Mission Raceway Park. And we're going to be looking to continue to have ourselves a fun time all the way through the radial eliminations tonight. And of course, don't forget to come on out to tomorrow on Sunday, July the 2nd, where we're going to be getting set to do our door slammer and of course our pro modified eliminations. You also get, if I was like to be in a drift car, they are offering drift demos down at the far end of the racetrack. You've probably seen the smoke over there from the cruise, from the drift cruise down at the far ends. You can swing on out there, see what it's like to be in a drift car. That'll perfectly prep you for the Spec D Pro Spec Shootout. That's going to be taking place next week, July 7th through to the 9th. All drifting all day for the Spec D Pro Spec Shootout. Of course, we'll return for the Mopac Friday Night Street Legal over on July 14th. The Fraser Valley Drag Boat Association season opener, they were due to have their race back in May. Of course, the waters were a bit too choppy back then and wasn't able to make it happen, so we had to bump that day up to July 15th. Our next drag racing event, though, will not be until the 28th to the 30th for the TNT Motorsports West Coast Classic, so definitely enjoy this racing while you can. It's been a fun show so far. And we're looking to continue to have ourselves an awesome ride all throughout the rest of this month of July.
So here we go with electronics. Coming up, another round of eliminations for them, their third round of eliminations.
Jan Christensen, from the TCS lane from Langley in that dragster, one of the collection of vehicles that Jan has. Now, I heard he has this dragster because he wants to know how to beat all the dragsters. Is that correct, Cole?
That is what I heard as well. Jerry Lucky, one of the other announcers here, and me were talking, and Jan added this one to the fleet to see what the dragster craze was all about, and here he is now going rounds in electronics, courtesy of Rad Torque coming on board, sponsored the class. And of course, Rad Torque Systems, big supporter of drag racing all across North America, also sponsoring Dallas Glen and the NHRA Pro Stock Series, as well as many other local racers and national racers. And Emily Gerard, a winner in electronics at the 2021 edition of Doorwarz over there in the Rad Torque Systems JS Power Sports machine. Well, it's Sheer Solutions and Just Mechanical on board, trying to go into the next round. 793 for Christensen, 755 the dial-in for Emily Gerard over there out of Chilliwack in the Lord Kawada Parts lane.
Breakout, but Emily breaks out last, 7.5, 470 miles an hour. Going into the next round, Jan, a 7.91 at 169. We've got Al Oldman from Abbotsford, sponsored by Thrifty's Machine Shop. He's a 15-time track champion, a 2-time Division 6 champion, going against George Lebain. He's from Creston in that Chevelle, sponsored by Kelowna Dental Clinic, Wildwood Water Ball, Drilling, and Java Group. Looks like Al breaking out. This one's going to George, 8.7, 454 miles an hour in that Chevelle. Moving on in electronics. Kevin McNichol in the TCS lane, 1967 Nova. He's the 2014 Super Pro champ. He's going against Robert Love from Asoya, sponsored by Reflections Guest House and SS Motorsports in that 1989 S10 with a 383. Bulbs are lit. Double green, here we go. Pretty even, but it can only be one, and that today is Kevin McNichol at 10.14 with an 827 miles an hour. Moving on into the next round of electronics. Doorwarz 11, carrying on here, electronics class. Attention in the pits, attention in the pits. All junior classes to lanes 1 and 2. Juniors to lane 1 and 2, please. Warren Jacobson from Mission in the TCS lane in a 67 Chevy 2 going against Jeff Bell from Oliver in that 76 Dodge, running a 455 Mopar. Oh. Big wheels up for Jeff Bell. And who's going to take this one here? Double breakout, but going to Warren Jacobson, breaking out less, 10.87, 134 miles an hour. And Jeff, a 9.5 with a 7 at 138. Great racing action here in electronics. Doorwarz 11. Moving into the Rad Torque electronics class. It's Warren Jacobson in the TCS lane, 1967 Chevy 2, running a 454. He's dialed in at a 1087. Going against Kevin McNichol. He's the 2014 Super Pro champ. Racing a 1967 Nova with a 434 small block. The Rad Torque electronics class here at Doorwarz 11 on the titanium strip. And bulbs are lit here, Warren and Kevin. It will be Kevin McNichol as a 004 red for Warren. Tough break. Kevin McNichol moving on at 10.05 at 133 miles an hour. George LeBlanc from Creston, BC. Racing that Chevelle with the big block 582. Sponsored by Kelowna Dental Clinic, Wild Water Wall Drilling, and Java Group. Going against Emily Gerard from Chilliwack, a 582 Sunset Motor, sponsored by Shear Solutions and Just Mechanical. Emily dialed in at a 753. George an 873.
So, Chrissy, the winner of this is going to go to the final round of electronics.
It looks like it's going to be George going to the final round at 8.73, 155 miles an hour. Moving on into the final in the electronics class, the Rad Torque electronics class.
So, unfortunately there, Emily Gerard breaking out for the racer out of Chilliwack, running that 748 on the 753 dial in, a 873 with a 6. On the 873 dial for George LeBlanc, see, Even I can't say George's last name right now as we get a little bit later on in the day for the racer out of Creston. Going to the final round of Rad Torque Systems Electronics.
Moving into the Rad Torque Electronics class, here at Mission Raceway, Doorwarz 11. Kevin McNichol in the TCS lane. He's from Mission 1967 Nova here in the TCS lanes 2014. Super Pro champ going against George LeBlanc from Creston in the Chevelle.
So George having to play catch up here as we'll see if he can catch Kevin. And at the stripe, it is going to be Kevin McNichol taking home the win in electronics for Rad Torque Systems. 10:05 with a 6 on a 10:04 dial to George LeBlanc's losing 870, breaking out on his 873 dial.
Looks like we have some fans up here jumping around, fans of Kevin McNichol, making the whole tower shake. Electronics here, a fun class to be in.